Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Infrastructure Governance Podcast. I'm your host, and today we're diving into something really critical for enterprise operations, the NetBox Platform Selection Initiative.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to discuss this because NetBox isn't just another tool upgrade, is it?
Exactly. That's the key message here. NetBox is fundamentally a risk mitigation and operational maturity initiative. Our strategic objective is clear: establish centralized, authoritative infrastructure data.
So this directly supports multiple priorities across the organization?
Absolutely. 5 core priorities, actually. First, reducing outages. Second, strengthening security. Third, accelerating delivery. Fourth, enabling automation. And fifth, aligning network and security operations. These aren't isolated goals. They're interconnected through data governance.
That's a comprehensive approach. Now, let's talk about the risk landscape. What's driving this initiative from a business perspective?
Well, our infrastructure complexity continues to increase significantly. We're operating across multi-DC architecture. Segmentation and VRF expansion are ongoing. Firewall policy growth continues. Hybrid cloud integration is accelerating, and automation initiatives are expanding across the board.
And I imagine this complexity creates challenges.
It does. We're currently facing several critical challenges: fragmented IP and topology documentation, limited real-time asset visibility, manual validation of segmentation, and significant dependence on tribal knowledge, which is a huge risk factor.
Those challenges translate directly into business risks, don't they?
Yes, the business risks are very clear: customer impacting outages, SLA penalties and audit findings, slower incident resolution, and cross-team friction between network and security teams. This is fundamentally a governance maturity challenge that we need to address.
So let's break down the business drivers. What are the 5 core drivers for this platform?
Clearly and methodically. First, infrastructure data governance. NetBox establishes a single source of truth for IP address management and data center infrastructure modeling.
That's the foundation. What's the second driver?
Second is risk reduction and service stability. NetBox prevents outages caused by IP conflicts, segmentation errors, and undocumented dependencies through validated data models. This is proactive risk management.
Prevention rather than reaction. And security?
That's our third driver: security and compliance enablement. NetBox provides authoritative real-time asset visibility and full audit traceability required for regulatory compliance. This isn't optional in today's environment.
Interesting. What about the customer impact side?
Enthusiastically, that's driver number 4: customer experience and revenue acceleration. NetBox improves customer onboarding speed and provisioning efficiency by eliminating manual data reconciliation steps. Faster onboarding means faster revenue realization.
And the 5th driver ties into modern infrastructure practices.
Exactly. The 5th driver is automation enablement. NetBox enables API-driven integration to orchestrate infrastructure across platforms like Ansible, Terraform, Cisco ACI, and Palo Alto Networks PAN-OS. This is how governance directly supports modernization and automation strategies.
Pragmatically, this all sounds excellent, but executives always want to understand cost versus value. What's the investment profile?
The investment profile is actually quite reasonable. We have low licensing costs leveraging NetBox's open source foundation, infrastructure hosting costs, controlled implementation effort, and governance model establishment. These are predictable, manageable costs.
But here's the executive reality, right?
Yes, the cost of deployment is predictable. The cost of one major outage is not. Preventing even one SLA breach, one onboarding delay, or one major outage offsets the multi-year investment. That's the ROI conversation.
Analytically, let's look at the comparison. What changes with NetBox?
Systematically, IP conflicts move from frequent occurrences to being prevented at source. Segmentation errors move from manual mistakes to modeled and validated. Outage risk is significantly reduced. Manual reconciliation effort drops from hours to seconds, and audit friction becomes structured reporting. The ROI impact is high.
So what are the strategic outcomes we're targeting?
The strategic outcomes are comprehensive: reduced operational risk, higher SLA compliance, improved customer trust, faster revenue realization, stronger security posture, and a foundation for automation that scales with the business.
And this helps with organizational alignment.
Absolutely. NetBox neutralizes friction between network operations, security and risk, infrastructure architecture, and compliance teams. Everyone works from the same authoritative data source. No more conflicts over who has the right information.
Professionally, so what's the final recommendation?
The final recommendation is to approve phased implementation of NetBox as the enterprise infrastructure data governance platform. This initiative supports scalable growth, reduces customer impacting risk, and strengthens long-term operational resilience.
Thank you for breaking down this critical initiative. The case for NetBox is clear. It's about governance, risk mitigation, and operational maturity.
Thank you. And to our listeners, this is how we build resilient, scalable infrastructure for the future.
Thanks for joining us today. Until next time.